Hello there, my name is Ehis Okoro. Welcome to my channel. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, please look at our former videos on adaptability, effective communication, and problem solving. It will help you. We are doing a series on a list of competencies that makes for personal effectiveness and personal growth. And today we are going to be talking about critical thinking. I am a writer, I'm a speaker, and I'm a teleologist. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is a competence that all of us need to make necessary progress in our life and careers. Thinking is the foundation of everything we do, every action, every solution, and every decision we make. These are all results of thinking. We think when we decide what to have for breakfast or lunch, how to meet project schedules, what to say during a conversation. We are constantly thinking. We are thinking all the time, and our brains are always working while we're thinking. Now, critical thinking is thinking, but it's a different kind of thinking. While our normal thinking may be automatic thinking, critical thinking is manual thinking. Many people describe this as head scratching or deep thinking or analytical thinking or questioning or probing. They all refer to thinking consciously, thinking critically, thinking manually, as it were. So, what is critical thinking really? Critical thinking is purposeful thinking. Critical thinking is being aware of the partiality of your automatic thinking. Critical thinking is thinking based on a set of tools or a frame of reference. Critical thinking is never random. Critical thinking is never off the hook or unconscious. No, when you are thinking critically, you are conscious of your thoughts. You are conscious of the elements of your thoughts, and you are thinking within a frame of reference. So, critical thinking is purposeful. Critical thinking is purposeful. You make conscious efforts to leave automatic modes as you start to consider a certain situation. It means when you are about to engage yourself in critical thinking, you consciously stop your mind from thinking automatically. It's a conscious effort. You consciously stop your mind from thinking automatically and switch to manual mode, as it were, regarding what you're thinking about. So now you're determining what you're thinking about, you're determining how you're thinking about it, and you're coming up with different options. Critical thinking is one of the strongest tools of creativity, because to be creative, you're not just thinking inside or outside the box, you're thinking without a box, and you're thinking consciously. So critical thinking is purposeful thinking. Again, critical thinking is a process. It doesn't happen once. No. Critical thinking happens gradually. Depends, of course, on how much time you have to exercise the results of the process of thought. So, critical thinking is a process. Now, a typical process might be including understanding why a customer is calling, for instance. Assessing the situation, asking a series of questions, perhaps looking for information in the database to come about conclusions about what the issue is. There are some times we are given a call by our network service providers, and they tell us that they are recording the call for future purposes, and they begin to ask questions. For instance, I receive a call from my cable TV providers, and they say, "Good morning, sir. Am I speaking to Ehis Okoro?" I say, "Yes. We noticed that you have not subscribed in the last 1 month since your expiration expired. Since my subscription expired." So, for instance, my cable TV providers, they call me once in a while, and they say, "Hello, is that Mr. Ehis Okoro?" I say, "Yes." And they say, We notice you haven't subscribed since your subscription expired. And I say, yes, I haven't because I traveled. So they encourage me to subscribe and tell me about upcoming programs I may be interested in based on my viewing choices. And all of that information helps them to analyze the kind of customer that I am consciously. So that is a process. It doesn't just happen. The process of questioning to analyze information for critical thinking. Now, what are the benefits of critical thinking? First, critical thinking gives you a clear understanding of problems and situations. Most times, the reason we are confused and unclear is because we have not sat down to think. At best, we think we are thinking. No. When there is a product to be made, a problem to be solved, a conversation to be engaged in, your thinking at that moment must become conscious. You must be thinking consciously. So critical thinking in that context gives you a clear understanding of the problems or situations or conversations that are at hand. Critical thinking again gives you a faster and accurate conclusion. In fact, it helps you make quality conclusions and quality decisions. Why? It's a process and it's conscious. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen by happenstance. You are consciously going through this process, and if you go through it successfully, the quality of your decisions and conclusions are far better than that which may come from random thought or automatic thinking. Again, you have a richer variety of explanations and solutions. Because you are thinking within a frame of thought or a frame of reference, you are able to collect specific information. You are able to collect specific inferences. You are able to collect specific incidences and put these things together, and that makes your explanation of the situation or event far better than if it were just random thought or random thinking. Another thing is, in critical thinking, you are able to recognize opportunities that you would not easily see if you are thinking automatically or without focusing on your thought or your thought processes. So critical thinking helps you to see opportunities. Of course, critical thinking is critical in reducing your error rate. It helps you to avoid error as much as possible. It reduces the rate of your mistakes. If you think automatically all the time, your error rate will be high. But if you are able to consciously collect your thoughts and your feelings and what's going on around you, then it reduces your rate of making errors or making mistakes. Another thing is, you are able to think out strategies and clearly eliminate dead ends. Most times we encounter dead ends when it comes to ideas or execution or strategy because we are unable to think things through. To think and think things through, you must engage critical thinking. So it helps you to avoid dead ends. Again, critical thinking enables you to look at issues differently. When you're thinking critically, you are able to place yourself and the issue at hand from different perspectives. You're able to see what's going on from a different perspective. You can even create new perspectives that weren't existent to look at the situation. So critical thinking gives you better and more perspectives to the situation at hand. Again, critical thinking prevents a distorted picture. When you think automatically, you may not even notice the picture is distorted concerning what you are trying to do or trying to achieve. Why? Because when you're thinking automatically, your mind removes distorted pictures and focuses only on clear pictures. And it's possible that within that distorted picture is where your solution lies, or where the strategy lies, or where the conclusion lies. but you are able to see because you are thinking automatically. Once you are able to engage critical thinking, then distorted pictures are lightened, they are cleared out. Another thing is, critical thinking gives you a framework to think in. You see, a framework to think in provides two huge benefits. It helps to organize and guide your thinking while leveraging and incorporating the thinking of others. So, what's the benefit there? When you're thinking within a framework, your thinking is guided. Your thinking is not random. Your thinking is sequential. Your thinking is processed. Okay? It helps you to keep, because the mind wanders. You can be thinking of something right now, and your mind has gone to something else, and you may not even know on time that you're no longer thinking of what you plan to think about. But when you're thinking within a frame of thought or a frame of reference, and you're engaging yourself in critical thought within a frame of reference, then your results, the quality of your results will be far better than random thoughts. And of course, it helps you to incorporate the thinking of others. If you're thinking about something critically, you now know where to ask questions, to seek counsel, to seek opinions, to look at research, to look at data, to look at statistics, and you know exactly where it comes in your line of thought. Only in critical thinking would you be able to effectively achieve this. So, when do we use critical thinking? When do we use critical thinking? Well, we use critical thinking in business function, in strategy sessions. I'll give a few examples. We use critical thinking when we're dealing with customers, when we're dealing with financial analysis, when we're dealing with development processes, when we're dealing with employee productivity, when we're dealing with information systems, when we're dealing with new product release, when we're dealing with outsourcing, business processes. In fact, all business processes must involve critical thinking. Why? Because resources are involved: human capital, financial capital, intellectual capital, social capital. All of that is involved. And if you don't engage critical thinking in even simple business processes, at the end of the day, you may run into losses because you skipped something out of random thought. Again, to understand the situation that is unclear, you need to engage critical thinking to increase productivity, to decrease the cost of customer care, to do a lot of these business processes. All of them require critical thinking. Now, let's go to the next point. What is this framework? I've been talking about framework and tools for critical thinking. That will be my final thought for the purpose of our video today. What are the frameworks or tools for critical thinking? I'll give you 3 of them. They are clarity, conclusions, and decisions. The framework of clarity, the framework of conclusions, and the framework of decisions. Now, let's talk about clarity for a while. The single most important reason why issues or tough goals and projects go awry is that the goal itself or the issue isn't clear in the first place. Most times we run into problems and issues because we are not clear about the goal. We are not clear about the situation or the circumstance at hand. We're not clear about the product or the service we want to offer or render. We are not clear about the destination. We're not clear about the strategy or the results we want to achieve. So, what does that mean for us? To increase clarity, we must engage critical thinking. In fact, critical thinking, or rather clarity, is one of the major tools and framework that you need for critical thinking. You see, clarity allows us to define what the issue, problem, or goal really is. For example, instead of a broad statement as we need to improve our quality, is not a problem. You must be specific. You must be clear about how much increase are we talking about here. A clear statement will be, we need to reduce our defect rate to less than 10 units per 1,000 or per 100, or to less than 100 units per 10,000. Because once you are able to reduce that defect rate, the quality of our product is increased. Do we understand? Now, another tool is, after you are clear about what you must address, you have to figure out what you are going to do about it. Now listen, conclusions are solutions and a list of actions related to your issue. You must critically examine your conclusions. Your conclusions are a tool for critical thinking. You can't have one conclusion, no. There must be a list of conclusions and a list of to-dos, action steps that needs to be taken to achieve what needs to be achieved at this time. So that list of conclusions now becomes a framework for critical thinking. Now, for example, to reduce our defect rate, using the example and the clarity is, we will add a product test cycle prior to shipping. That's one. Secondly, we may check our machines. Are they functioning optimally? Thirdly, we'll check the line staff. Are they trained and retrained? Are they focused? Are they putting in the optimum best? So these are conclusions that we may come to. Critical thinking, this now creates a frame for critical thinking or your critical thought processes. Now, the third one is decisions. Once you come to a conclusion of what decisions to take, you have to actually decide to take action and do it. Take massive action. All right. So, critical thinking framework is a three-step process. One, clarity. Get clear on the issue or the goal or the problem. Secondly, conclusions. Take your clear, this clarity or this clear goal or this clear issue or problem through the process of coming to a solution about what to do. And thirdly, decisions. Decide and take action. Okay, decide and take action. So, for the purpose of this video, because clarity is a very wide subject, and very soon we're going to start a series on clarity alone. So for the purpose of this video, these three steps in these three critical thinking framework processes is this: clarity, conclusions, then decisions. Very important. So the next time you are faced with any problem or issue or goal or strategy or customer related issue or product related problems, get this three-step framework in your mind. Number one, are you clear about what the problem or goal or product is? Are you clear about what the strategy is? Are you clear about what the results you want to get is? Secondly, after you are clear, get a list of conclusions, things that are to be done. Then thirdly, decisions. Go ahead and do it. This is a short video. If you want more information or more instructions concerning clarity, kindly comment on this video, or if you want a more elaborate platform for us to talk to reach me or for us to talk about critical thinking, send me a mail at jabinconsults@gmail.com. gmail.com. Kindly share this video, like this video, comment, and if it's your first time of watching my video, subscribe and hit the notification button so that by the time I upload the next video, the next competence, you will get it immediately. Thank you for watching and see you next time.